Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. We've not done a stream for a couple of days. It was sort of just thought let's do this stream for kind of like a something to do. And I've got a little bit of a like a slight muffled ear at the moment, and obviously with like upcoming gigs and stuff, I'm trying to sort of not make it any worse than it is because it's been going muffled for quite a while now, like on and off, where sometimes I'll wake up and it feels quite muffled, and then it'll kind of like fix itself. And I know I'm known to have like my music and like my headphones quite loud, and like in some situations I've had to do it for various reasons, but in other situations, like I suppose like there hasn't been a need to have them that loud, but I just love my music. So yeah, so I could have done one of them, like the next part of our, where we're like changing the FLP on FL Studio, but I'm like, because it's quite late now, I would have done it in the headphones. Well, I do them in the headphones anyway because I talk through the mic, and if I've got the song coming through the speakers, then the microphone's going to pick it up, because unlike when I'm doing just like a normal DJ live stream, with these ones I'm on the mic a hell of a lot more, and the mic's always turned on. It's not like me just flipping it up and going, this one's a banging tune. This is me like sat right near a speaker with a microphone on where it's going to pick the sound up, and then it'd create like an echo. So I turn the volume down and just have what I'm working on through the headphones, and it obviously it isn't the, it's a good thing, but I have it quite loud, and probably that's where that's probably where I go wrong. So I thought I'd do this stream today because I want to share a story with you from Monday. So it's a recent story, and I'm sharing this story because I don't know if it's going to be one of these stories where people can actually relate to it and say, "Look, I've had the same thing happen to me." And on Monday, I had a very sort of annoying experience that. We all get these annoying experiences, but it's the extreme of how this story unfolds that I which is why I want to tell it, because when you first read the title, and you'll probably think, oh yeah, everyone has this, but to the extreme that I had it was making me wonder, like, has anybody else ever had it this bad? So on Monday, I'd gone to Music Lab through work, as I always do. Banging Music Lab, banging session, as always. And on my way to Music Lab and on the way back, I had my headphones on. I always like to take headphones when I'm walking somewhere, whether it be walking to work or whether I be like, going for a train. I always like to take the headphones. So I was on SoundCloud, and I was listening to Nixie and Devices. They've just done a like a mix, started a mix series called Donkers, and it's supposed to be like the rip off of Bonkers, which is the old Happy Hardcore CDs, if you're not aware. And all the tracks are supposed to be like bounce remixes of like old school hardcore tracks, and stuff in there like Heart of Gold and Toy Town and stuff from the old days, Hixie and Sharky. And anyway, so I'm leaving Music Lab, and I put the headphones back on and I press play on the mix, and I'm walking home, and a song comes on in the mix, and the song, the vocals just caught me off guard. And when you kind of think, I'm sure I've heard that somewhere before, and like the vocals really captured me and they really hooked me. To the point where I thought, you know what, I really love that vocal. I really love that singing. I love the piano behind it. Everything just, it seemed to work, and the song actually gave me like a good feeling inside, and it gave me like goosebumps. And it was really bugging me because I had no clue what this track was called, and I just heard it in this mix. Um, So I thought, well, there's only one thing I can really do, isn't there? And I asked the guy who's actually put the mix together, what's the track called? So I sent him a message with a little voice note, and I said, this track, and I typed the lyrics out to him, and what's this song that goes, I've got a feeling I'm gonna be in your arms tonight. And I was certain I'd heard it before, and then I was thinking, well, it's on Donkers One, which is like bounce remixes of old hardcore tracks. So I was thinking in my mind, like, it's got to be like an old hardcore tune. That's the only thing I can think of. But at the same time, because of the way this remix had been done, it gave me that like Clubland vibes as well, and it gave me that kind of like almost again a little bit like um I'm like a bit like a base hunter vibe, Cascada kind of thing as well, kind of. And that's why I was a little bit thrown off. So I texted the guy who'd done the mix, and he looked at the message and he didn't reply. So either he just didn't want to give me the track name, or I don't know what it was, or maybe he just forgot to reply. I haven't got a clue what had exactly gone on at this point. And it was in my head. So Layman picked me up, good friend Layman. I said, bro, you might have heard this song before. And he has a listen, and he's like, yeah, I'm sure I've heard it before. But again, he couldn't specifically tell me who had done it. And just all through the night, through the evening, this song had got stuck in my head. It was something that had just, it was just something that had obviously like really just got sort of it into my head. I had a little bit of a late night as it was, but this song began to actually stop me from sleeping, to the point where I couldn't sleep. This song was in my head, and like I just could not, like, I was hyperactive. It was in my head. I'd absolutely fallen in love with the vocal, and I knew I had to find this song. And I was trying everything. I was typing the lyrics into Google. I was typing the lyrics into YouTube. There was no. I just could not think of what this track could be called. I've got a feeling I'm gonna be in your arms tonight, and Happy Hardcore, and it was just coming up with like Shooting Star and Land of Fantasy and Field of Dreams, and they obviously were the ones I was obviously after. Until it revolved. I woke up about 5 a.m. and it was on my mind. And I needed a drink as well, and I never really got back to sleep, and it got to like, I think about 7, half 7 in the morning, where I actually just put a message in a group chat for a bounce group chat that I'm in. And just actually, I saw someone was active in there, and I thought the only thing I can do at this point is put a message in this group chat, and yes, RT, and ask if anyone knows what this song is. It's kept me up all night, and anyway, so I text, and essentially what went down is I told the guy these lyrics, and he actually did the one thing that I should have done all along, and he actually just typed in, I've got a feeling, but he actually typed it into the Bound 7 website, I've got a feeling. And lo and behold, the actual version that I'd heard in that mix was the version that had come up. And he found the exact version, and he obviously sent me a link to where I could get it from the Bound 7 store. I was absolutely buzzed. Like, I was like, no way. Like, because obviously, like, with me playing a lot of bounce, like that bounce version was gonna suit me. Um, but why did I not think, like, in the first place, to just type in "I've got a feeling"? Like, like, it wasn't finding the whole lyrics, but if I'd have typed in like "I've got a feeling," I might have had a better chance of finding it. So anyway, so I got the bounce version of the track, and I'm gonna play it at my gig on Friday in Scunthorpe, and essentially, I'm just so buzzed about it. But it was still sort of on my mind that I was obviously certain it was a Happy Hardcore track. So I actually typed in "I've got a feeling" happy hardcore, and it was Brisk and Ham that did the happy hardcore version, and there was remixes from Dougal and Gamma as well. So it was kind of really good to kind of finish it up and tell the story. Well, find out the story of where this song actually came, what this song actually is. From me just hearing a vocal in a mix to me like physically finding out, what the actual song, and where Charlie Bosch got his Bounce remix from, the idea from, and just everything like that. So yeah, but I've got a Mike. Oh God, a Mike Topping remix. Would you do a Mike Topping remix? Probably not. Remixes like that, they're fun to do. Don't get me wrong. They are fun to do, but they're not gonna do well. They're not gonna get signed. You put it online, and a couple of people will laugh at it, and that'll be about it. Loads of people. I mean, a friend of mine, when that Wakey Wines blew up, friend of mine did a couple of donk versions of Wakey Wines, and he got loads of laughs, and people was sharing it all over online, but labels like are just not interested in taking songs that are obviously like just rip-offs of like memes and parodies, and it's hard enough to get your remixes of proper tracks out there, let alone sort of remixing just someone's funny voice in a video, or something like that. But yeah, so going back onto topic, it was good to find out what the song actually is. And I like the reason why I came live and told the story is, have you ever had a song that's got stuck in your head, that it's got stuck in your head so much that you actually like can't sleep, like it's stopping you from sleeping at night, and to the point where it's like it's doing your head in, because I know sometimes like I'll think like, oh, what is that song, or where's this from, and I'll just I'll forget about it, I'll give up, I'll forget about it again. But with this track it was completely different, because it was like the vocal, I just fell in love with it. There was just something about the way it was sang, and just the way the voice sounded over the piano, just really captured the eye. It was just something that like I'd never heard before. It was just absolutely crazy. I'd never heard it before, and in that way. And I knew I'd like heard the vocal before. I was like, I'm sure I heard, and when you haven't heard something for years, and then it comes back to you, and you're like, oh my God, I ain't heard this in years, but you just can't think what it's called, and that was exactly what had happened with this track, and this was exactly the story. And yeah, so Monday night, Tuesday morning, it kept me awake like sort of most of the night. Like I say, I went to bed late as it was, and I woke up at like 5 a.m. And the song was in my mind, and after 5 a.m. I never like properly got back to sleep, and like by 7 o'clock or half 7 I was sat up. I was sat up in bed having a cup of tea, and I finally found out what the track was, and it was crazy. So I can't wait to drop it on Friday. Honestly, man. Agree to disagree. Parody songs can. Oh yeah, parody songs. They can get a lot of hits, but what I'm saying is labels don't release them. Labels won't release them because they just won't. Like there was someone years ago that did a donk remix of the Coronation Street theme, and it never got remixed. You can't buy it anywhere. And it was done in like 2010 or something, and it was just the Coronation Street theme tune. Had a couple of lines from some of the episodes back then, and it was or I think it was somewhat for, or like an ITV ident or something. But it got loads of views and people loved it. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of them things, like it's funny to listen to online, but are you going to pay 250 for it on the digital store? And you know, and although like they can sound quite good and funny, is it the vibe that someone really wants to rave to in a club? You know, like I could remix Mike Toppin and go, I've had another can of beer and put a donk over it, but is it going to sound that good? Like it'll be funny, but you know, would I play it in a rave and are people going to go off to it? Or is it just going to be like pranking people in a rave? So, you know, and that's why I probably wouldn't remix it. And although Mike Toppin, you know, he does quite well for himself on YouTube, I wouldn't say he's that well known that if I was to put it up online, people would know who the guy is. You know, he don't, like I say, he don't do too bad on YouTube, and he like streams every day, drinking his tinnies. But you know, if I went on Facebook and said who's Mike, you know, anyone know this Mike Toppin, there probably won't be many people that know him, and especially like out of the rave scene. You know, people might have maybe come across a channel or something once before. I don't know, but I wouldn't say he's that well known. Whereas if I'd said, look, I've done a remix of Wakey Wines or that meme that got millions of views, you know, of course people are going to know what that is. But you know, a guy who I don't know how many subscribers he's got, but a guy who sits on YouTube streaming every night while having a couple of tinnies, or should I say about 7 or 8 cans, and claiming he's not an alcoholic. You know, I just don't personally think it'd do that well. But definitely, like for my own personal just funness, I'd do it definitely. You know, in that sense, you know, if I want gonna do anything with it, like, you know, other than just make it for my own fun. Or if I could make some, I suppose, decent enough out of it that, you know, it would just actually work. It kind of depends what you want me to actually remix out of it. Like, I don't know what you want me to, you know, what part of him you want me to sample for a track. Like, is there a specific something that he says? You know, because I could maybe make something work that way, but then again, like it, you know, it's releasing like his voice without his consent. So what can I say? When you hold me, there's a place I go. I don't know what this is. What actually is it? Ah, it's not bad. What's this one? Cool. I've just like found some tracks and they haven't got like names on them. I think I've accidentally deleted the track names on Record Box. Ooh. It's got like a donk in it actually. Let me take it down to. Cool. cool. Right, what's this one? Oh man, I don't know what this one is either. Ooh. Oh yeah, I do know what that one is actually. Sounds of Arabia. Oh, what's that one? Ah, that's just the normal Blam. Yeah, that's just the original Blam. Yeah. I've done a little edit for Friday's gig actually. So essentially, when I got booked for EWL's birthday bash, I wanted to make an intro track, so something that was gonna sort of like really set the set off with a bang, you know, with a bit of fire, and come in with something a little bit different. So I did this. I put it up on YouTube as well. Did it under my Mad Ash alias, and I did a remix of Andy Whitby and Club Filler Blam. So if you don't know by now, Blam is a tune that I love to start sets with because it's got a real nice intro with a real nice piano, and then it builds up and goes into like a fat drop, and it just really sets like a set off. Like I kind of feel like if I was listening to a set, like if I was on the dance floor and that track started off Blam and then it dropped into that to the drop that Blam does, I'd think in my mind like, oh, this I can tell already this is going to be a banging set. So that was kind of the vibe that I wanted to create. However, I wanted to be a little bit different, and I didn't want to just come in and remix and just play Blam as such. So I thought, well, what can I do here, and how can I make this? How can I make this sound better? And I did do a Set You Blam, which was a remix of Blam, and it had Entrance's Set You Free vocals over it, and I thought. But you know, everyone plays "Set You Free" bounce versions, and Nixie and Devise they did the version of Set You Free that is one of my favourite remixes, especially my favourite bounce remix, and they never released it sadly, and they did a wicked breakdown and it's really good as an intro tune as well. And the Set You Blam, the one I'd done, Set You Blam, I'd played it a couple of times in sets already, where I essentially had already played it. So I thought I want to add a different vocal. So I decided to do a track, Paradise and Blam. So you'll all remember, if you're way into your old school hardcore, that Force and Styles and MC Junior did a track called Paradise and Dreams, and it's one of my all-time favorite happy hardcore classics. The vocals in it are wicked, and then Recon, which is obviously Mike Discala, who sang in Ultra Beat. He did a hardcore version of Paradise and Dreams, and he re-sang it, and he also re-sang because I think it was Ultra Beat that did a version of it as well, and he sang it. So essentially, I took his vocals, his a cappella from the hardcore version, slowed it down to 150 with slowing Blam down to 150, and made a bounce version or a version that I can start a bounce set off with, and it just comes in essentially with Paradise and Dreams. And you know, when you start a set off, it's something that, you know, because it kind of like has this like do, and it goes into this like real sort of like euphoric like sounds, and then this piano comes in and the vocals start, and it's just something that people can sing along to, so people like just, you know, can instantly feel like, oh yeah, the rain falls down but the sun still shines. So so anyway, I decided that I wanted to do that. And I originally did it as a hardcore version for ELL's birthday, and then obviously things changed. I ended up doing the B2B, and I didn't end up playing the you know, the starter track. It was me. You know, it was the, you know, DJ Jim that started the set off with a Makina tune. So that sort of threw that out the window, and just essentially. And I didn't get a chance to play it, so I thought, well, actually, I could, you know, I can slow it down and make a bounce version. The original Blam was actually a 150 sort of hard dance tune, and then it was actually, I think it was Gamma that did the hardcore version of it. He did a hardcore version. It was Andy Whitby and Club Filler originally, and like I say, it was a slowed down 150 tune originally. It was on a hard dance anthem album. So I think it was Gamma that did the hardcore version, where it was just like a bit of a speed up, and that worked really well. So I wanted to do this version, and it sounds like this if you've not heard it. I know it'll be a little bit hard to hear, but it actually works. The rain falls down, but the sun still shines, and there's a smile that's not too far. So I'll wipe the tears from your eyes, paint pictures in my mind of a paradise I long to find. But when it may end, alright, if I'm not wrong, then I must be right. And then it plays that out, and then it builds up and drops. And what I normally do is so as soon as it drops, I press play on the next track, and then I do a double drop on the actual mix itself, and it just absolutely sounds banging when you do it. So but yeah, I love the tune. What can I say? But anyway, we digressed a little bit. Make sure to like, comment, share. Peace.